You want to see something cool? Why don't I show you something cool?
Imagine walking around a 112-room mansion filled with all kinds of memorabilia and artifacts, each room completely different, finding secret doors like you're a little kid again, searching through it, and just having the time of your life. And that's really what happens here every single day. My name is Ted Spiro, and I'm the president of the Mansion on O Street and the O Street Museum Foundation. It's 5 interconnected townhouses as old as 1892 and as new as 1985, 32 bedrooms, 35 bathrooms, 30,000 square feet. So H.H. Leonard's is the founder. It's my wife, and she came here from Indiana back in the 70s. So she came here with no money, no business background, no design background, and had the vision to create exactly what you see here. We are a true mom and pop. My wife and I live here. We do this 24/7. This is our passion. Every day is a great, great day because of all the incredible people that come through here. So for us, we're the richest people that we know. Not monetarily, but by the way we live our life. I mean, we wouldn't trade this for anything. Many people have come through these doors, including Mrs. Rosa Parks, who spent about 10 years of her life here whenever she was in Washington, D.C., as part of our Artists and Heroes in Residence program, which is a big part of what we do here. It's a magical house. People walk in the front door and they say, "Oh my goodness, what is this?" And they haven't even seen the house yet. You have no idea what you're walking into. And because there are so many rooms and each room is completely different and filled with all kinds of memorabilia and artifacts, something here has to remind you of your past in some way.
There's dates and heights on this doorway. That's kind of cool.
The house is alive. It's alive because it changes every day. Things are donated to us all the time. We sell things all the time, so the rooms change all the time. You can walk in here a week from now and it'll look completely different to you, and you'll get a whole different experience. There needs to be more places like this that are out of the ordinary, and you can walk in, feel comfortable, and just have fun. We all need that.
Fox 5 certainly proud to celebrate the achievements, triumphs, and legacy of African-American culture during Black History Month.
This morning, we take a closer look at a person whose name is synonymous with Black history and civil rights. Of course, we're talking about the late Rosa Parks, but it's a story you might not be familiar with. H.H. Leonard's was one of Mrs. Parks' closest friends. She offered her a calm respite during a dark time at her O Street mansion, a treasured D.C. landmark that shares this part of her history.
Been here 40 blessed years. I wanted to create that place where people could come and rejuvenate, a sanctuary that they could understand where they had come from and go out and do these amazing positive things with where they were at the moment. I got a phone call from someone I didn't know who said, "My name is Willis Edwards. Mrs. Rosa Parks was just beaten up in her home. She's in bad shape. She's in the hospital. She is not prepared emotionally or physically to go home right now. She has no money. Can she stay with you for just a few days?" She came up and she was in a wheelchair, and we wheeled her to the 2 rooms that are here. One's called the International Room, and then she fell in love with this room. I think because I didn't know who she was, we became close friends. She felt comfortable here. She had amazing creator hands. I would love to hold her hand because you just felt life coming through her to you and to the world. She was also not a talkative woman unless she had something to say. So our times of silence together were really quite beautiful because you could feel her grace. She was extremely shy, extremely religious, and could never understand how she had become such a major figure in history. Every ceiling in the mansion, and there's 110 rooms, are totally different here. To also get people to understand, look up. There's something bigger than you.
And you can visit. You can visit the Rosa Parks room at the O Street Mansion and Museum and see photos and special memorabilia connected with this historical icon.
I came to Washington to help my country. I tried to join the Marines in Indiana, and it was the first year that women were allowed in the military. So I marched down with my best friend from high school, and they lost our paperwork. That's how they dealt with women at the time. After the third time, I said, God's telling me to come to Washington. And I had started the mansion here. Being a single woman, you couldn't get lines of credit, you couldn't get loans. And I just said, credit cards are it. Applied for 48 cards. $500 from some, $750 from some, $2,000 from others at between 21 and 28%. Didn't matter, if you have nothing, why not? I had tried to interview for a job with advertising agency, and he said I wasn't qualified. Was invited to an event. There were 2,000 people there. And there was one person in the center of the room that looked really interesting. It was the chairman of the board of Ogilvy and Mather, which was quite extraordinary. And talked for 2 minutes. And he said, you have more ideas than anyone in my creative department. If you ever come to New York, come see me. I want to hire you. So 2 days later, you better believe I was in New York. I sat in his office and he said, any concept that you come up that my creative department doesn't, I'll pay you what I think your time is worth. He started sending these gargantuan checks. So I helped Ogilvy create cause-related marketing because that's always been near and dear to my heart. You are born to do certain things in your life, and I always felt my role was to help other people. One of the projects was with American Express. He called me up and said, we need to do a national campaign that has no downside. You've got 8 hours. So I was on a flight to New York, and I happened to open up Time magazine, and there was a picture of the Statue of Liberty. And I went, bingo. I got to write the check for $1 million that went to the Statue of Liberty. It was the first corporate donor they got to restore it. What happens inside the walls of the O Museum and the Mansion is really quite extraordinary. And it's about dare to be different. Anything is possible. It's pure magic. Everything we do goes back to helping other people. We are a nonprofit. Every year we've given away 600 to 1,200 rooms here, so it's a lot of people have been able to stay here. One of my favorite guests got a phone call from Detroit that Mrs. Rosa Parks had been beaten up in her home. She didn't want to go home right away. They flew her here right from the hospital. They thought she was going to be here just a few days while she healed, and I just bonded with her and became very close friends, so she stayed much longer. And I learned so much from her. OMG, when it comes to the chamber, they have really changed my perspective. They have gotten me out of the mansion. I actually go to social events because of them, which is helpful. I've met people that are driving this city that are inspirational to me. So without them, I wouldn't be happy. God has blessed me and continues to bless me.
It's Ted again, this time in the pop culture room in the O Street Museum and the Mansion. One of my favorite things in this room is this piece here about Norman Rockwell. What this shows you is Norman Rockwell with his pipe, showing them how to pose. Then they pose on the ground here. And then this is the final artwork that he does based on that photograph. So you're seeing them posing here, taking the photograph, and then this is what it looks like. How awesome is that?
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. Ask any small business owner just what role passion plays in fueling a company's success. Well, it just might be the only thing that every entrepreneur has in common. Today in our Small Business Spotlight, how living your passion and never faltering on your philosophy not only can propel your business, but can even give you a cult following.
You see that wow effect. Oh my God. If I tell you how many OMGs I hear on a daily basis, trust me, we'll be here forever.
30,000 square feet spread out over 5 attached townhouses in the heart of DuPont Circle. It's a hotel and event location like you've never seen before.
You're opening up things about yourself that maybe haven't been open for a while, and it gets you out of your normal, typical routine.
Rock and roll memorabilia, one-of-a-kind items, a split-level log cabin room.
So the executive director for Miss Universe stayed here, and she sees everything in the house, and she said, I have to send you something. So we get this brown box in the mail, and it has the crown from Miss USA in 1988 in it.
Guests wander the house intrigued by the concept of 66 secret doors. The whole house is about the unexpected and how you react to it.
Here we go into a whole... oh, how cool is that?
We don't say, how do we make money here? It's never been part of our vocabulary. You know, things will take care of themselves. And that's what happens. It's all word of mouth. People come in here, they are intrigued. All the big name corporations have retreats here. They walk out of here changed. It's got to work, and it's been working for 35 years. So if you try to figure out how that's happening, I have no idea.
Almost everything in the mansion on O Street has been donated, and it's all for sale.
You know, the pricing, it's not expensive. I mean, a Bob Dylan guitar that he signed, it's the only one when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You want to pay a couple months mortgage, we'll let it go. But other than that, things are very reasonably priced.
Rosa Parks has lived here. The artist formerly known as Cat Stevens stays here.
Jackson Browne just spent a week here. His band, his crew, his management, they took the whole house for a week.
It's a refuge, a place to grow. The philosophy here is find your passion and express yourself. Not much of a business plan, yet the mansion has treasures that make it recession-proof. Hot real estate, unique product, clear concept, and shining reputation.
Never change our focus, even if we're going through rough times. At any given time, we have people staying here through our Artist in Residence program. We open our doors always. If we ever change our philosophy, then it's time to close. We have over 75 guitars in the house. So this particular one is signed by Ted Jones, who performed with Elvis in 1954.
People actually have gotten emotional when they're walking because they can see something that they can relate to. Oh my God, I remember this reminds me of my late wife. It reminds me of when my son was born. It reminds me of when I got married.
This is the first color Beatle card set, uncut, right off the press. Everything is word of mouth, especially before that thing came out, the internet. We're under the radar. You walk past us, you don't even know we're here. Very private. When you walk in here, it's all about privacy. It's Ted again at the mansion on O Street, and O Street Museum. We are in the John Lennon room, and there's all kinds of really cool things in here, but I want to tell you one quick story. John and Yoko had a psychic named Deja. They would do nothing before they would ask Deja what to do. In fact, that day, Deja said, whatever you do, don't go out. They went out, and of course, you know what happened. Before that, John and Yoko went to Cartier and picked out 12 silver boxes for the 12 closest friends as Christmas gifts, and to commemorate their new record, Double Fantasy. So they gave one of the boxes to Deja, and she donated that to us, and it's right here in the John Lennon room. And it says, Happy Christmas, Double Fantasy, John and Yoko, 1980. So come find that in the John Lennon room, among many other artifacts. It's Ted again from the Mansion on O Street and the O Street Museum Foundation. A few days ago, 3 teachers came in, they were doing a secret door tour, and they said that they found us in a James Patterson book. I said, was it 4 Blind Mice? And they said, no. It was Treasure Hunters, All-American Adventure. He has a children's book series. And actually in this book, it shows the front of our building, and it shows one of the many secret doors in the house. We are in between 15 and 20 books, and we usually find out when people that take tours or have events here tell us about them. So you'll have to come to the mansion and the O Street Museum and find the books that we're in and read them. Hope to see you soon.
Hello, it's 2020 and I'm at 2020 O Street at the mansion on O Street, and 20 plus 20 equals 40. It's the 40th anniversary of this wonderful place and my family here.
You should make your way to an extraordinary day. The mansion on O Street. The mansion on O Street. Much to your surprise, a museum comes alive. The mansion on O Street. The mansion on O Street. Photographs and paintings fill up every wall, ceiling, and floor. There's a whole world of surprises behind every door. Hospitality becomes a specialty. The mansion on O Street. The mansion on O
Food is fabulous.